says to me, "Hey, little boy, are you graduating high school?" I said, "Yeah, tomorrow is picture day, asshole. You want to move it along?" It's date night with the wife tonight, and she's taking me to Chuck E. Cheese. I have to say, looking young, it is difficult for me, especially when I go into restaurants with my wife. Because when the waiter comes over, the waiter asks my wife if she wants a drink, and if I want a box of crayons. When I was driving through East Providence to the show tonight, past a funeral home, had a sign on it that said, "Basic Cremation." And I thought about this for a second. As opposed to what? A deluxe cremation? Can you imagine that phone call? "Yeah, hi, Bob. Yeah, we added some sparkling glitter to your wife. You can come pick her up this afternoon. We got her looking like a disco ball." And actually, my friend Curtis, my best friend, is moving above a funeral home up in Everett. And you should see this place. This place is as big as the Colony Connection. It's dining room. I said, "Curtis, how much you paying for this?" He says, "McLoud, get this. $500 a month. I get heat, hot water, and embalming all included." I said, "Well, how do you get such a great deal on the heat?" He said, "Well, we live above the crematorium." We're gonna segue into some family material now. I love my mother, but she's money hungry. She's all about the dough, this woman. In fact, when I was born, I came out of my mother's womb still owing her 9 months of rent money. And if you borrow money from my mother, she will track you down. Last weekend I had to borrow money from my mother. I haven't seen her in a while. Went to go start up my car this morning, it blew up. I felt like I was De Niro in Casino. We don't call her Mom at home, we call her the Irishman. I swear to God, my mother had something to do with the disappearance of Jimmy Hoffa. That's all I could say. And now my mother's watching my 2-year-old niece, Tori. Tori, just by hanging out with my mother, my 2-year-old niece has been saying money and mass cash. I've had a lot of interesting jobs to keep myself doing comedy. I used to work in a nursing home as a waiter. Thank you, one guy. Appreciate it. And let me tell you from the guy in the back, the tips weren't that great, but the women were fantastic. I have a new job now. I work in a hospital and as an orderly, and I have to go pick up patients for the doctors. And sometimes the patients will ask me questions, and I have to politely answer them. Like just today, I was wheeling a sweet little old lady into pre-op, and she says to me, "Is this my last ride?" I said, "Probably." Curtis is going to be taking care of your ass. You're going straight to the morgue. I got to be in East Providence tonight. I actually have a birthday coming up, the 24th. So, birthday, this is it. Very, very excited. I'm going to be turned 37. My wife says to me, "Pat, let's do something extra special for your birthday. You'll be 37. Let's have a threesome." Holy shit, are you shitting me? She's like, "Yeah, with anybody you want." I'm like, "What, should I take your time if you're going to take a week?" And I'm like, "I already know." She's like, "Who?" I'm like, "Harry Styles, biatches. I want me some golden, yeah, some watermelon sugar." Don't judge, okay? Like this guy right here, I know you like Harry Styles. That's my jam, that's my shit. That's what I do. My wife got me his album for Christmas in the Christmas stocking. I have to drive a 2006 Toyota Corolla. It's parked right out there. Still got a CD player, played that shit nonstop. All right, next. That's my Harry Styles addiction. I was watching Titanic the other day. And remember how on the Titanic, while people were running for their lives, the musicians continued to play. But this is what I wanted to know. Was there a house comic on board that ship while it was plunging into the ocean? "Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Sir, where were you sitting?" First class, my ass. Your wife will take you from third, and I'll tell you this. Did you guys try the salad before the show tonight? Boy, I hear that iceberg was to die for. I know you're out there. I can hear you screaming. Oh, I gotta get to a lifeboat. Tough crowd. Okay. I love meeting celebrities. That's what I like to go do in my spare time when I'm not doing comedy too. And went out to LA to do some shows. Met Bono in a restaurant. I looked at him and I said, "Hey man, have a beautiful day." He said, "You too." Drove down to Atlantic City to meet Charlie Sheen. I went up to his photo op line and I'm like, "Hey man, can I ask you a question?" He said, "Yeah." Like, "How did you even contract HIV?" He said, "Between 2.5 men." Hey, that's my time. Thanks, East Providence.